This has to be one of the worst cases of child neglect I've ever come across. And the mother that is at the center of this case gave birth to multiple babies in secret, was Erica Murray. And she raised these babies in a locked room, hidden from the world. When Erica is 17, she falls pregnant. And she was absolutely terrified about what her parents might say. And Erica decided to hide this pregnancy from her parents and from pretty much everyone. And Erica's parents, they were incredibly supportive, both physically, emotionally, and financially. And things went on like this for 2 years. Raymond, Erica, and baby Kayla are living with Erica's parents, and everything is great. When Erica is 20 years old, she falls pregnant again. And this is where things really start to go downhill. Erica gave birth to a baby boy who she called Nicholas. Erica, Raymond, Kayla, and now Nicholas, they move into their own home. This is what basically turns into the House of Horrors. So now they are living on their own. Raymond is currently 28 years old and Erica is currently 21. And it is when they are living alone that Raymond's personality just completely changed. Because before, he had Erica's parents watching him, keeping a close eye on him, and he turned into a completely controlling and manipulative person. He didn't want Erica socializing with friends and family, and Raymond threatened to leave her if she ever went out with her friends and family. And her mental health took a nosedive. She has been in this abusive relationship since she was 16. Because now that Raymond had complete control over Erica, he made one thing very clear to Erica, and that is that he did not want any more children. They couldn't afford it, and he didn't want any. And that he would leave Erica if they were to have another child, because it wasn't too long until Erica fell pregnant again. Erica decided against an abortion. She also didn't want to give the baby up for adoption. So it's like, okay, so what other option does she have? Well, Erica decided to choose door 3, and that is to hide the pregnancy, keep the baby, and raise it in secret. You heard that right. And Erica gave birth to her baby in secret on her own in her own bathroom at home. Hiding a pregnancy is one thing, but how do you actually hide a baby? She placed the baby in an upstairs room that no one ever went in. I think it was like a storage room, so no one really used it, and no one seemed to notice. The days went by, the weeks went by, and Raymond didn't notice that there was a baby in his home. But anyway, Erica continues to raise this baby in secret in the room upstairs, and her and Raymond still continue to have unprotected. So again, it wasn't long until Erica falls pregnant again. And I know what you're probably thinking. There is no way that she can have another secret baby. No way in hell. How can she do it again? But she does. She then placed the second secret baby in this mysterious room upstairs. And because of this isolation, Erica carried on living this life with secret babies for 6 years. So we now get to the 27th of August 2014. And on this day, Erica was going to be out of the house all day, which was obviously rare because she never left the house. But on this particular day, she was going out with her 13-year-old daughter, Kayla, and they were going to be out all day. Erica goes over to one of her neighbors, a woman called Betsy Brown, and asked her if she could look after her son, Nicholas, for the day. So Nicholas and Pete, they're outside, they're skateboarding, playing football, and Betsy decides to leave the 2 boys on their own for just a little while because she just needs to pop to the store. And this is where everything starts to get revealed. Because when Betsy was at the store, she receives a phone call from her son, and when she answers, her son Pete is absolutely frantic. He sounds really panicked, and he is just repeatedly shouting down the phone, "We can't get the babies to stop crying. We can't get the babies to stop crying." And Betsy was just like, "Babies? What do you mean? What babies?" Betsy asks her son where the hell he is, because where are these babies? And this is when Pete reveals that he's at Nicholas's house. Babies? Erica doesn't have any babies. What is my son talking about? But Betsy, she's so worried about her son, she rushes home. She pulls up onto the driveway of Erica's home. Her son and Nicholas are outside of the house, and they are quite visibly distraught. So Betsy jumps out of the car and she rushes inside Erica's home. And what Betsy Brown was about to stumble upon would shock her to her core. Because first of all, as soon as Betsy opened the front door, she was immediately hit with the stench of. So she entered the home, and when she looked around, there was just trash everywhere. So Betsy made her way up the stairs, and as she did so, she could hear babies crying, which is exactly what her son had told her. And when she opened that door, what she saw hit her like a ton of bricks. Because in this room, Betsy found a 5-month-old girl screaming at the top of her lungs, and she was just lying abandoned on a mattress. And this mattress was completely covered in and. But it gets worse, because Betsy then made her way to the second room where she could hear a baby crying. And in this second room, she also found an abandoned child. The child in the second room was a 3-year-old girl. She was also abandoned on a mattress, and this 3-year-old, she was so traumatized. She was rocking herself backwards and forwards uncontrollably on this mattress, but 2 babies just completely abandoned. So Betsy rushes over to both children. She covers the children with her own clothing to comfort them a little bit, and then she places a call to 911. And when the police arrive, this is when the true scale of the horrors at 23 St. Paul Street are revealed. The police immediately rush into the 5-month-old and the 3-year-old, and the police continue to look through the property, and what they found, there were maggots in every room. Every nook and cranny, there were maggots. There were rodents. There were so many insects, flies. And then tragically, in the room that the 5-month-old was found abandoned, the police found a dead dog just lying there. And this dead dog had been in the room for months, just there, right by the 5-month-old baby. And then at 4 p.m. that day, guess who returns home? Erica and her 13-year-old daughter, Kayla. Erica had left the house at 10 a.m. that morning. She had been gone for 8 hours. So she had intended to leave those 2 poor babies abandoned for 8 hours. And when Erica approaches the house, she doesn't really seem too shocked that there are police everywhere. At that moment, Child Protective Services arrived at the property and informed Erica that all 4 children were going to be taken off her. And when Erica was told that all 4 of her children were being taken away, she didn't really seem to care. She had no emotion, no reaction, nothing. However, there was one thing that Erica cared about, and that was her cat. But the authorities told her that her animals were also going to get taken off her as well, because she had been willfully neglecting them, and the dog, the bloodhound, and the cat were both taken to the vets, and they were going to be put up for adoption. Thank God. So following this, police took Erica down to the police station for questioning. Erica started by confirming that the 2 infants that were found in the home were her children. She also confirmed that Raymond was the father of those 2 infants and also the 2 older children. Erica also told the police that Raymond didn't know that the 2 infants were his. And Raymond also didn't know that the 2 infants were living in the home. And the police were so shocked. They were like, what do you mean you have raised these babies in secret? The 5-month-old baby and the 3-year-old girl, they didn't have names. Erica referred to them as it. So these 2 children, they don't have names, obviously. And in official documents, they were given names, but these are just pseudonyms. These are not their real names. So the 3-year-old is known as Lisa, and then the 5-month-old is known as Gina. So the police inquired about the welfare of Lisa and Gina, and they were told that they were both severely malnourished from both of them not being fed properly. Both were extremely sensitive to sunlight due to the fact that neither child had ever been outside. So following their stay at hospital, it was determined that despite the awful conditions that both Lisa and Gina were in, neither one of them had any life-threatening conditions, which is truly just a miracle. And they were placed in foster care, and their rehabilitation into normal life now began. Meanwhile, the police are carrying out their investigation, and this is when they spoke to the rest of Erica's family. So they first spoke to the two older children. They still were raised in that home in those conditions that were absolutely disgusting and dangerous. And when police asked Raymond if he was the father of these children, he flat out denied it, even though a DNA test proved that he was the father of the two children. And he really was just trying to convince the police of this whole Erica is just babysitting. I don't know anything about these kids, blah, 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 blah. And Raymond also said that the majority of his time he spent in the basement, which is why he didn't really go upstairs. Like, he didn't really know what was going on. No, he was just downstairs, abusing a dog in a crate, leaving it abandoned. Yeah, that is what he was doing. So now we get to the 10th of September 2014. This is 2 weeks after the initial discovery of the secret babies. Investigators are heading back to Erica's home. They are carrying out one more search of the home to try and find as much evidence as they can to build their case against Erica and Raymond. And now there is one more final shocking twist to this case, and I truly cannot believe what is about to come. And the police were sorting through Kayla's room, and they got to her closet, and they were about to come across something that they were not expecting, because after they opened the closet door, they saw two stained cardboard boxes. And when they opened one of these cardboard boxes, inside they found remains of a human baby. So then the police opened the second cardboard box, and sadly, as you might have already guessed, in the second box were also the remains of a human baby, also dressed in a onesie, also had a diaper on, but was just a Also in the closet, they found a skeleton of a dead dog. Yep, another dead dog. And then investigators made their way into the 10-year-old Nicholas's bedroom. Again, his bedroom, it also looked like a landfill. There was just rubbish everywhere. And they also went into Nicholas's closet, and inside was a backpack. And inside this backpack were the remains of a third human baby. Erica had given birth to 3 more babies in that home by herself in the bathroom. She had hidden those pregnancies as well. So in total, Erica had 7 children, and she had hidden 5 of those pregnancies. And it's just unbelievable. This case just keeps getting worse. And following this horrific discovery, both Erica and Raymond were finally arrested. Erica was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder for the 2 babies that were found to be born alive. She was also charged with 1 count of concealing a fetal death. She was also charged with 2 counts of assault, causing substantial injury to a child, 2 counts of reckless endangerment, and 2 counts of animal cruelty. When it came to Raymond, he was charged with 2 counts of assault and battery on a child, 2 counts of reckless endangerment of a child, 2 counts of animal cruelty, and 1 count of cultivating. So Raymond was not charged with second-degree murder. Nothing to do with the deaths of the children. Raymond was not charged with anything. And unbelievably, it took 5 years for the trial to go ahead. However, the prosecution said, no, we're not having this. No. She may have these mental health conditions. However, that is no excuse. And also, Erica had the mental capacity to make up a fake identity of that woman, Michelle. That sounds like she's competent to me. And unbelievably, at the end of the trial, the defense got what they wanted, and Erica Murray was found not guilty on the 2 counts of second-degree murder. However, she was found guilty on all of the other charges. When it was Raymond's trial, he was also found guilty on all of his charges as well. But you're about to get a lot angrier, because now we get to the sentencing. Raymond was sentenced to only 4.5 years, with credit for time served, and he had already served 5 years in jail, which basically meant that Raymond was released straight away. And then for Erica Murray, she was sentenced to 6 to 8 years in prison, again with credit served already in jail. What the actual hell? How are these two people walking the streets? And in the aftermath of this case, the home, the House of Horrors, was demolished because it was deemed to be too much of a health risk for anyone to live in that house.